What are some of the biggest challenges facing sellers right now?
I think that's an interesting question. So TV is more complicated right now, I think, than it's ever been. But when I think about what's actually getting in the way of them, it's time, right? Which as a product person for me ultimately means automation. Like, what are they actually spending their days doing? And I think the biggest thing that I hear from sellers right now is that it just takes so much time for them to sell. Like, they're just so ingrained in doing all this other work that allows them to go do what they're supposed to do, that instead they're, in spreadsheets or messing around with different systems to try to get information so they can actually do their job with their clients. I think the biggest problem they have right now is just trying to get out into the streets.
And so does this mean replacing the systems that run television?
I think we talk about that a lot, and I think the answer is no. I don't think that's the answer at all. I think as a product person, again, what I think about is the gaps. Like, what can we do that can sort of make these systems work together a little bit better and just fill some of this? It's about progress, right? This isn't about disruption, and I think we love that term. We love disrupting the industry. I don't want to disrupt anything, right? Like, I just want to make things easier for people, and I think we have the ability to do that right now. I think it's complicated. I think it takes patience and it's going to take collaboration, but I think ultimately when you think about the big things that stand in the way of some of these organizations right now in sales, they're looking at how do I get my rate cards out, or how do I do stewardship? How do I work with all this liability that I need to be able to manage and ultimately get to a place where I can really look at yield optimization across the entire organization? That's not a small feat, and it requires a lot of people, and those people are doing a lot of manual work. So I think the easiest way right now is to shoot the gaps, right? Find small wins that you can make a huge difference in and just free your talent and empower the people to go do what they're best at.
So what's the timeline for being able to address this issue?
Like right now. I think it's right now. Like I look at 2020 and the political season that's coming up, and I look at some of the incredible, like the huge process that we've gone through to get video premium and really premium. I think the time to act is immediately. I think if you're not acting right now, you're doing a huge disservice, not only to your sellers and your sales org, but also to your bottom line. There's a lot of money out there, and TV has proven time and time again it's not going away. It only gets better. We only make it even better. You look at things like addressable and all the different ways that you can talk to television audiences now. I think you need to be acting on this immediately, because when I look at the landscape in the next, maybe even 3 to 6 months, it's not going to be simpler 6 months from now. It's certainly not going to be simpler 2 years from now when addressable really kind of hits its stride. Audience buying becomes kind of the norm. I think the real challenge today is, what are we doing to fix the issue for right now? And that way we're in an even better place in the future.
How does Prophet address those issues?
So, selfishly, I think that we've been looking at this for almost 5 years. And the idea of Prophet has always been a simple one. It's the idea of aggregating and normalizing data across disparate data sets to give power back to people who know what to do with it. And so it's about taking a really, really easy approach of, let's not overcomplicate things. Let's put things on a clean slate and have a really intelligent conversation around, how do I actually enable all this data? How do I make it meaningful to me? So what Prophet does is it talks to all those systems and it puts you in the position where you get to drive. So it can, instead of just the insights-driven thing, I think is a little overdone, right? Insights and data kind of go hand in hand, but it's how easy is it to get those insights, and then what can I do with it? Can I talk to the systems that actually deliver the advertising? Can I talk to DMPs that give me audience data that get me to a place where I have informed decision making? That's what Prophet does. It sits on top of all of that and gives you enterprise look into how and what I should be doing with my inventory. The whole point of Prophet is to not be disruptive, right? We want to be able to institute change almost immediately, and how we do that is by sitting on top of or next to or in combination with the systems that run your business. When linear television, inherently, those systems are meaningful. Like, they were built with purpose, and they're big machines that do some stuff really well. We need to then support those systems to do those things, but not allow their inadequacy, which only exists because they were built from a while ago or whatever the case may be, that you can actually still get something from them and use it, right? Which, it's not about displacement. It's about collaboration.